Well, it's 2025. Happy New Year to everybody. I still have a lot of catching up to do as far as some of the releases, as we can see here. It's not only when Twice releases something, right? I'm catching up. It's everybody. I still need to check out so many things, right? And I'll do my best, like I said, to try and be a little bit more consistent. I've been very busy, even over the holiday break. But maybe I'll do a little bit more with that later on, or discuss it a little bit more later on. For now, I'm gonna finally, because I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting so long for this. I'm gonna finally get to check out Strategy. Right. I'm a little bit nervous for this one. Okay, because here we have a collaboration with a Western artist, which is cool, right? There's been a few others, like Rose and was it Bruno Mars? Still have to check that one out, and it's fun. Okay, it's a cool thing, right? Whenever you see it, I'm just a little bit worried about the branding, right? What I'm hoping is that it's done in a way that really like serves Twice's, you know, existing sort of brand. You know what I'm saying? Um, but let's see, let's see. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fun because it always is. Okay, I can see Cheong already. So okay, here we go.
Hey boy, I'ma get ya real good, and I bet ya. It's Megan Thee Stallion. Once I get ya, you'll be oh so bad. And twice. Ow! Step one, do my highlight, make me shine so bright in the moonlight. Step two, silhouette tight, baby even my shadow looks good, right? Step three, with a hair right, make you look my way with your hard eyes. Step four, get you on the floor, make you say more, more, more. Gonna say, I'm feeling all your attention on me. No reason to be so shy with me. I ain't gonna bite, come on over. I know you wanna move a little closer. Gotta try to get you with me. Got you on my radar, soon you're gonna be with me. My strategy will get you, baby. Winning is my trademark, soon you're never gonna leave. My strategy will get you, baby. Hey boy, I'ma get you real good, and I bet ya. Hey boy, once I get ya, you'll be oh so glad that I met ya. When your cheeks go red, I wanna dance your side till I'm in your head, and you can't forget. You feel it deep down, you confused. Watch my body get loose. You don't know what you're gonna do. You're mine. When I say, I'm feeling all your attention on me. No reason to be so shy with me. I ain't gonna bite, come on over. I know you wanna move a little closer. Gotta play to get you with me. Got you on my radar, soon you're gonna be with me. My strategy will get you, baby. Winning is my dream, oh soon you'll never wanna leave. My strategy will get you,
Real hot girl, do you like that? When I smack it and you watch it bounce right back. He really lost it when he saw me do the right left. I'm a man eater, you were just a light snack. I got him pressed like he working on his triceps. I'm a flirt, I'm a tease, they be hurt after me. Told him, baby, what's the player to the G, A and me? Saying need to worry about him bringing me to the beat. Jealous who? Girl, please. Left, right, do it to the beat. Top with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be mine off my strategy. Left, right, do it to the beat. Top with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be mine off my strategy.
my strategy, like grabby B. One look at me. I betcha, boy. You be down on your knees, calling me up, begging me don't leave. My strategy will get you, boy. Hey boy, I'ma get you real good, and I betcha. I'ma get you real good and I betcha.
I wonder if that's the actual photo book, right? It probably is, or at least those pictures are probably in there, because there's usually like a ton. But that was cool. This is a really really. It's just such a. It's chill, but it has just the right amount of edge to it, right? It's not super intense. It's rather minimalist. You know what I mean? Like for a Twice track. Um, Especially like that verse section as we started, I was like, okay, it's pretty straightforward, you know, but there are very cool sounds. There's interesting vocal processing that's being done here too. You can hear it like at the end of the hook, right? When the melody goes up and the da 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 da, it has like that voice box, that sort of keytar sound, right? Like a little T Pain, right? It's that kind of vocal treatment, um, and it's different. It feels very very different. It's going in the direction of, I think, like the Ready to Be album, right? Like this is, it's a little bit darker, right? It's cool. It's not like you know that kind of dark. It's a nice like cool undertone, that's kind of carrying the beat and the chord progression along, right? And they're very kind of reserved in a lot of the vocal work here. Also, it's in English too, which is like okay, like it makes sense, right? Because Crossing again, collaborating with like a Western artist, and I will say I'm all right with the with Megan Thee Stallion's part in this. I thought it was actually, it was what I was hoping for. In other words, right, or at least it stayed within the boundaries of that, right? Because she's got a very strong personality, right? It's like larger than life, and her normal brand is like a little bit, well, not a little bit. It's way out there, right? Like it's pretty intense. But I thought that what she did was, she was like, I'm coming into y'all's track. I'm kind of stepping into your world a little bit here. So I'm gonna try to attempt it in like, okay, how can I add to this? Like, how can I have my part serve the track better, which is cool, because it was, the lines were great, the rhythms were great. I don't, her register is like very deep for female artists, but honestly, against the harmonies and the melodies that Twice has, it's a cool contrast. It works in that regard because that's what makes music good, right? Is contrast. And so I think that vocally that it actually balances out really really well. Um, a very cool bridge part as well. There's a lot of like subtle layering over the production work here that kind of, it keeps everything in a very tight space. It doesn't seem that way because it's so laid back. It's not like it's a really fast, intense, upbeat kind of track. But what's actually happening with the balancing of all the sounds and the vocals and everything, there's layers over it that kind of, they're kind of like they're filters, and they're keeping everything in a very neat space, and that helps with the laid back feel. It's very fun, man. Some of these synth sounds in here are like, remind me of early 2000s kind of stuff. Um, some of that, like it reminds me of some like the some Justin Timberlake, like what, like 2007, like, you know what I mean, like way back then, like early 2000s. um and also it kind of has even a 90s bit of a, almost like a Michael Jackson-esque R&B type of flow to it. So between that and these instrument sounds, and then of course like no, even the vocal production is like there's like throwback elements to I think a lot of the production aspects for this track, but it's a very cool, neat kind of track, and it puts you like in a very specific space, right? And it's enjoyable. It's really fun. This is really fun for it being such a laid back, type of track. It's a banger for sure. This is cool. This is very cool. Okay, so let's see. And I think it was, yeah. Of course, it would be Chaeyoung. You know,
Hey boy, I'ma get ya real good, and I bet
strings.
Megan Thee Stallion.
once I get ya.
So like these string plugins, right? So you can hear that's the chord progression already in the strings without even like a bass voicing yet, right? Because we got the vocal harmonies with this one little hook here of the "Hey boy, once I get ya." Remember what they said? I guarantee I gotcha. Remember that? Remember in Moonlight Sunrise? That's kind of a callback, right? Like if you remember that. But okay, so and then we got some of the ad libs also from Megan Thee Stallion, right? So she's coming in too, already sort of you're made aware about her presence on the track, even though we haven't seen her yet. That's kind of an interesting choice, I think. More for the audio side than the video side necessarily. Like when you're listening to the album, that's the way that things are done in Western tracks for sure. Like especially Western rap tracks, the artist has to come out and sort of declare, their name. Like here I am, right? I have to announce myself right away. I think maybe for the video, if she'd held back on that, and if they just hadn't done that in the video, it would have made for a bigger like entrance later on. But it's cool. I get it. It's the kind of approach that I would expect, right? But these sounds now, you'll notice it's kind of sparse. Like there's a lot of space for the vocals, right? The instrument sounds are not like overwhelming.
You'll be oh so bad.
And twice.
Ow! Step one, do my highlight, make me shine so bright in the moonlight. Step two, silhouette tight, baby even my shadow looks good, right? Step three, with a hair wrap, make it look my way with your hard eyes. Step four, get you on the floor, make you say more. Gonna say.
Yeah, this is like it's very R&B, right? It's just straight up R&B. Um, but like I said, interesting synth sounds, right? The percussion is very light. You know what I mean? Even the snare hits, like they're very light. It's a little bit of that gated reverb, but like very, very little. It's a subtle touch. The hat work, right, is so narrow. If it's like a little tap, I mean that's like the space that's given is so small, right? And it's rather quick too. But then we have like there was a little bit of synth bass that I heard like right at the start, a little bit of a riser, and then we have like these basically just keys, right? We have like synth organ going on here. That's kind of filling out our rhythm section, right? Bump bump the bump bump, the bump bump the bump bump. Kind of like if you were doing an acoustic cover of this, that's what the guitar would be doing. Ding, 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 ching, 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 right? Um, so that's what we have so far, and mainly just vocals. Now there's nice production on the vocals. There's a little bit of those added sounds, that little bell ring that occurs, as they're going through this verse, and they have the ideas, right? These steps that we're gonna go through, right? Like the strategy, right? These are the steps. Like here's what you do first, and then second and third. That's kind of like the concept that's unfurling here, right? Like there as this thing starts up, but it's compared to other Twice tracks, right? This is why it makes me think of like Ready to Be, because a lot of those tracks have a more minimalist sort of noir but very cool type of feel, like Set Me Free, right? Wallflower. It makes me think of tracks like that, even Moonlight Sunrise a little bit. But it's very cool. It's a cool sound, man. it's got like just the right amount. It's not too much, right? And it makes you want to go along. It makes you want to sort of like relax into this vibe that's going on. That's very strategic too.
I'm feeling all your attention on me. The reason I'm
Little synth arpeggio, da 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 da.
feeling over. I know you wanna move a little closer.
The riser. You can hear the vocal processing already here, especially on Geos. The EQing is so like there's almost no low end, like to the Twice member vocals so far, right? As I'm listening to this, I hear mids and I definitely hear the uppers, like they're very present, but there's almost no low end. It's as if they've really like compressed or limited the low end portion of the vocals here. And there's definitely some what do you call it, like between the synth that's going on and then also the vocals, right? And the way the like leaning into those highs, there's a kind of a texture that gets created between like the synth keys sound and then the way that the vocals are done here, and it gives it a very cool feel. Like it's very, the tonality is rich without being like I said, too much. Like it's not too loud, it's not shrill, right? And it stopped way before that it ever gets shrill, which is kind of impressive for how high these melodies actually are. Right there. Get you, baby. You can hear that voice box. Like you can hear the, with the tube and right, and it gives you those funky type of vocals. You really hear it there. It's like they ramped it up, right? For or it's sort of like has a dynamic tweak to it where whenever like the dynamic goes up, the effect actually comes up in its own how much there is. The signal gets wetter with that type of processing effect, and so that's why it becomes much sharper whenever that melody comes up. That would be very cool. I'm sure that there's something that can do that, but it's such a bright part of like this hook melody that's going on, and I thought it was pretty interesting because I've never quite heard that before, like on Twice songs. You know what I mean? Well, sometimes things like Signal or something like that, but it all depends. That was more conceptual, right? But it's interesting just the way that it's done here. I think all the sounds in it are very, very cool, though. It's like they picked just a perfect palette of like these different textures and tones and everything. Oh, wow. That synth sort of bass sound, that is what reminds me of that early 2000s pop vibe, right? Like that makes me think like what was that Justin Timberlake, that ain't another woman that can take your spot, my love. You remember that song? That makes me think of that, like in that album too. It's very early 2000s, right?
When it takes a ride, I wanna dance your side till I'm in your head, and you can't forget. You're feeling things so confused. Watch my body get loose. You don't know what you're gonna do. You're mine. When I say,
That little lick right there, right? Da, 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 da. You can hear again that vocal processing. I've never quite heard that on a track from Twice before. It's new. It's it's definitely a new type of production treatment, at least for them, right? I wonder who came up with that. It's well done. The application of it is actually it's very very intuitive, um, and it's just cool. It's cool. What was that? I think it's like there's a sort of post chorus part when Momo steps forward, right, and she kind of brings back a more of a rap rhythm for a couple of measures there. Um, it's still very straightforward, but that's what makes it so easy to like just vibe out to this.
I'm feeling your attention on me. No reason to be so shy with me. I ain't gonna bite, coming over. I know you wanna move a little closer.
That's a wonderful part.
Better get you with me. Got you on my radar, soon you're gonna be with me. My strategy will get you, baby. Queen is my dream, oh, soon you'll never wanna leave. My strategy will get you,
Real hot girl. Do you like that? When I smack it and you watch it
Oh man, it's look, it's a bit much, right? But do you get what I'm saying? If in the beginning of this video you hadn't heard like the Megan Thee Stallion ad libs, and you're just like watching along, right? You know, so far you're vibing out, and then it goes to this.
Do you like that? When I smack it and you
It would have worked, dude. Like it would have hit different, right? You'd have been like, whoa, okay. Um, but she did a good job, man. She did a good job. This is a little much right here, right? Like for Twice, I'm kind of like, ugh. Like, well, but she'll pull, but she knows like where this line is, and she's not gonna cross it, which I can appreciate. It's fun, okay, it's fun. It's still kind of it's still a bit much, but I appreciate what she's done here.
watch it bounce right back. He really lost it when he saw me do the right left. I'm a man eater, you were just a light snack. I got him pressed like he working on his triceps. I'm a flirt, I'm a tease, they be hurt after me. Told him, baby, what's the player to the G, A and me? Saying need the word about him bringing me to the beach. Jealous who? Girl, please.
I also like, because I feel like at a certain point of time, her verse would have ended like right here, right? But there's another half to it, and I can appreciate the development of that too, because this had a very specific rhythm to it, right? And even like some of the rhyme schemes that she had going here, and it was like deep in the pocket of that. So I thought it was very cool that like, okay, because I'm pretty sure you can tell what I mean, like in a lot of tracks, especially a lot of Western produced tracks, if you had like a feature artist, that's probably all that they would have gotten. You know what I mean? Unless it was like a full on collaboration or something like that. But if it was just a feature, you'd be lucky to get like that many bars, right? Like that many measures. So I actually think that this was very cool.
Left, right, do it to the beat. Talk with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be
Hey, wait a minute. What was that?
left, right, do it to the beat. Talk with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be my
Okay, never mind.
my strategy.
Never mind. But do you see what I mean? She created a contrast here, right? She's kind of like up the dynamic here a little bit, and this is it's a little bit higher in pitch even, right? As she's going through these lines here, and I can appreciate her, wanting to do as much as she was able to do, and really like contribute to, like I said, the overall song structure. That's very cool. And she even sets it up for them to come in and kind of, because you can think of this part with Megan Thee Stallion, there's almost like three sort of subsections, right? There's her first phrase or her first part, and then there's this part, and then there's the follow-up that the group's gonna have to kind of like round everything out and sort of bring it back to the vocal harmonies, right? Because this is like all rap for now, so they're actually kind of doing a little like mini outro, or like, third movement, if you will, and sort of bringing back in the vocal harmonies, right, and filling the track back up with that. But it even gave them a chance to do some bars as well too, so it's very cool. It's very cool.
Left, right, do it to the beat. Talk with my body, that's my strategy. Other girls try, but I'm really hard to beat. He'll be mine off my strategy.
Strategy, like gravity. One, look at me. I betcha, boy. You be down on your knees, calling me up, begging me.
This is a cool bridge. It is.
Strategy, will getcha, boy. Hey boy, I'ma getcha real good and I betcha.
Oh, you can hear a guitar now.
Once I getcha, you'll be oh so
The
glad.
funk guitar, right? Bum, 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 bum. Told you it's playing the rhythm part.
Oh so glad that I met ya. Boy, I'ma getcha real good and I betcha.
Solid funk R&B, R&B mainly with a little bit of funk, a little bit of, like I said, 2000s. You know, it's got a lot of different elements to it, while also being fairly minimalist for a Twice track. But it's definitely a vibe. It's very cool. It does what it does kind of perfectly. And yeah, that's it. It's, as usual, it surpassed my expectations, right? And like I said, I was a little bit apprehensive at first, just because of the collaboration with a, you know, sort of specific Western artist, but it was done very well. It really was. I can appreciate her part on this track. They must have had a really fun time doing it. I think that's pretty much the takeaway that I get there. She did a great job though, man. It's fantastic. I haven't listened to like a ton of Megan Thee Stallion before, but I've heard some, you know. Um, but I think she did an outstanding job for, you know, the track and for Twice. Like I said, kind of what works best for the song. You know what I mean? And I think she definitely took that kind of approach to it, which is very, very cool. It's like mad respect between the two interests, right? So yeah, I can appreciate it. She did a phenomenal job. It's a, like I said, a fairly straightforward track, but man, it works. And I'm very curious about like the rest of the tracks on this EP, right? Like oh man, now I'm like wondering if it's gonna have this, if it's gonna be sort of streamlined, and most of the tracks are like this, or if they're gonna throw other stuff in there too, right? Because who knows? But it's very cool. It's very, very cool, man. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's just that there's a ton of stuff to get caught up on. That's all. You know what I mean? So here we go. It starts. Okay, I'll try. I'll try to have, you know, a little bit more of a consistent schedule going forward. Had a nice break. Still have a little bit of work to do, but at least we're getting back into it now. And again, you know, Happy New Year to everybody. Again, it's 2025. Let's see what happens. You know what I mean? Let's see what happens. I'm sure it's gonna be chock full of a lot of action and excitement and a lot of really fun and cool things coming down the road here. So that was Strategy, right, from Twice featuring Megan Thee Stallion, and it was very, very, very well done, man. Very well done. Not, like I said, wouldn't be fair to say I've never heard it before, right? Because it was already making me think of, like I said, some of the past albums, but they're definitely moving forward with their overall sound of the group, and you know, stylistically, the types of applications, you know, the different sounds and genres and that they're pulling from, and some of these tracks, you know, there's definitely an air of maturation. You know, it's like very well. It's only fair, right? I mean, that's what happens, right? We all grow up. We all grow up eventually. So Yeah, I can appreciate it. I love everything about it for sure. Absolutely. I would expect no less, you know. It's twice, so of course I was going to have a blast watching it, and I did. It was really fun, dude. Like it's really fun. Um, yeah, I can't wait to hear the rest of this. Okay, so I'm going to check out Rose and Bruno Mars, Espa, or Itzy. I think Nmix also, right? Didn't they drop something? Need You. I know if they haven't dropped something, they're about to. Next G is about to drop something too. Like, dude, there's a ton. There's a ton of stuff. Okay. Whew. All right. So I don't know what's next, but whatever it is, it's definitely next. So I'll see you there.